everybody. Welcome to our first podcast of the Pink Life. Thank you so much for listening, and tell a friend if you like what you hear. Anyways, I started doing, this is very intimidating, just so you know. But anyways, I started Googling what makes a good podcast, whatever. And then I just had to stop because all I learned from Google was I shouldn't be podcasting. So I had to kind of take my Showtime philosophy, and that is just blindly do it. Even if you're a FedEx dance teacher, doesn't matter. Just stop thinking. So here I am, 59 years old, and making my dreams come true. Thank you. This is not a how-to podcast because about skills that are mastered. It's just experience. So I'm just going to talk about things that experience has taught me. I'm going to try to get a co-host also. But this is experience that's taught me, but that doesn't mean it's for everybody. And also, it doesn't mean that it's always worked for me. And also, it doesn't mean that I constantly do it because I'm always having to remind myself of how to make things better. And a good example of this would be if I was going to do a podcast on marriage or a vodcast, I would have to go more with what not to do because I've been married 30 times. If we were going to get somebody who had all this experience on how to be married 30 years, we would invite Chuck and Darcy Stanford or Ann and Jeff Roden, and they would come tell us how they got to stay married for 30 years. But have you ever noticed how you can tell couples that are still doing it? They're still banging it. I think these couples still banging. But anyways, this podcast won't be for anybody that's super sensitive or have any taboo topics. It might not be for you. I'm frequently accused of being oversharing, so I have a strong opinion. Okay, so why the pink life? I think some people might think that the pink life is because I want to be a princess, or which I do. I mean, who doesn't want to be a princess? But really, it's about embracing femininity and my role as a woman. Of course, Dolly Parton, I love her down-to-earth attitude. So, pink represented more of an attitude. Here, I got this little phrase. I saw this phrase. It says, pink isn't just a color, it's an attitude. And so, I thought that was so cute, because it's true. I noticed the difference. I started thinking around 2007 is when I started thinking about this pink life. So I looked up some things about, now I did Google this, but I didn't Google who should do Vodcast because that's not me. Just like I'm not under who should be a dance teacher either on Google. But anyways, what makes pink so special? It's a color that expresses compassion, nurturing, caring, and empathetic love. It is the inner journey of the heart, and it has long been associated with femininity and romance. And the darker pink shades adds a layer of depth and sophistication. No one has ever accused me of being sophisticated. There's actually a specific pink color that's supposed to be very calming and soothing your nerves, and it's called Baker Miller pink. You can look it up. I heard that Kendall Jenner painted her living room this color. I also heard they paint some jails this color. And I was thinking, you know how they sometimes paint the visiting teams for football teams, their locker rooms pink? Maybe we shouldn't do that because they're in there getting all pieced and zinned out. Maybe we should paint it some other hostile thing. But anyways, so about in 2008, 2007, 2008, I started embracing this whole pink attitude. I like to wear pink and everything now, and I do like pink around me, but really it's the pink attitude. So I was noticing that I was having a lot of masculine energy. When you're the main breadwinner and you're having to run all the, a tight ship with Showtime and parents and everybody, and, you're the GM of a semi-pro basketball team, I feel like my masculine energy was shining through. So, and I didn't want my femininity to get lost in the mix. So there was a fortune cookie that had a little saying come out a long time ago, and I actually still carry it in my wallet. It says, "You cannot love life until you live the life you love." And I thought, so am I doing that? How do I live the life that I love? I have nothing to complain about. This was back in 2007, 2008. I'm married. I have beautiful kids. I have passion in my career. I felt like what I did mattered. have good parents and a family that is a little crazy but sticks together and loves each other no matter what. I have a strong belief system, faith in God, and I had Showtime kids who really gave me purpose and also were my friends, to be honest. I trusted them. So what did I have to complain about? Well, then I asked myself, why am I overweight and exhausted and feeling burnout and secretly allowing the gossip mill to affect me? I even had Stacey Taylor come in once, back when she was in Showtime, and she's like, Miss Pam, I just heard this horrible rumor. And she's like in tears, like, she goes, there's this girl at school, and it's a person I know actually, she's a friend's daughter. And she said that you went to prison. She's lying about you. And I'm like, oh, Stacey. No, she's not lying. She's telling the truth. I have been to prison. So I guess that rumor mill, though, those kind of things could sometimes just get to me, even if it was true. But why was I allowing those things to get to me? My mom said, so to give a good example of this, here, I'll show a picture of me real quick. Here's me. Now, I don't think weight is the big part of my story. It's just the easiest one to see. The truth is, I have struggles in all sorts of areas. I'm sure a lot of people do, but I feel like I have a lot. And I like to refer back to weight because it's just something, feels like tangible, something people can see, something people can relate to. But I remember it being said once that kids don't want a perfect mom. Kids need a happy mom so that they know they have a chance. One time I was really upset and I called my mom. This was back in the 90s when I was still, of course, doing Showtime. And I had a dad come in and say, writing his tuition check. And he says, it's really hard to pay this when you're a fat dance teacher. Well, I called my mom afterwards, and I'm just like, Mom, oh my goodness, I feel so bad, and blah, 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 blah. I had another mom told me not to wear heels because it looked like Miss Piggy or something, and so I was just like kind of sad about it, and my mom goes, well, what's the truth and what's a lie? And I'm like, the truth, I guess it is, I am a fat dance teacher. And she goes, right, but the lie is that you're assuming he meant that means you're a bad dance teacher. And then she said, who's writing the check, Pam? And I was like, oh, that's true. She goes, he's just aggravated that you're doing what only skinny girls are supposed to do. So I asked myself these questions. Was I happy? Was I living my life and falling in love with my life? This was back in 2007, 2008. Or was I living through my personal kids and extended family of Showtime kids? I think it doesn't take a brain scientist to know that I was living through my children and living through Showtime kids. You were my everything. So I started exercising and visiting my grandmother. She was in the nursing home behind the studio. Heather, Dawn, and I, we would walk everywhere, and Boyd too. We'd walk downtown, we'd walk to the nursing home, we'd walk to the Showtime studio all the time. We'd go to Flagler Hospital and climb those 8 levels of stairs. They would try to kick us out, and we would just lie and tell them that we're going to buy a soda at the top, which we didn't. But when we would go to lunch at Crispers, I don't know if y'all remember that. But anyways, I started feeling my heart meter started going up. And of course, I would have relapses. I had lost some weight, gained some weight, lost some weight. But I had to come to a conclusion that, and again, just in this area, I use weight again because it's so obvious to see. But there's lots of areas in my life. But this one, I was like, I need to quit hating my body. And you can also place other areas. I need to quit hating my negative talk. Or I need to embrace what is and then make the necessary changes. And I started writing down reasons why I love my body. First of all, my body gave birth to all my children who I love. I have a heart that loved, and I loved big. I had arms that hugged a lot of kids. I appreciated my legs. Some people don't have their legs. I have a sister-in-law, beautiful dancer. She doesn't get to use her legs anymore. My body has stood by me and was still loyal even though I had betrayed it for years and years and abused it. So I started to adopt this pink mentality or attitude. I set up a little vanity in my office. It's not like the vanity I have now, which is like a designated destination. But it was this tiny little table and chairs and my makeup and my perfume over there. And it was in my office. I started there. And I continued that whole vanity thing from 2007 all the way up till now. Another thing that I made a goal to do was make my bed every day and make sure the dishes were done. Because my mom always told me, if the dishes are done and your bed is made, the house looks clean. And then I would also make sure I got dressed every day. Put on my makeup, get dressed. I don't care, 360 pounds, whatever. I'm still going to put on an outfit and still try to look my best. My best might have been just a flower shirt because that's what they have in my size back then. And then I would celebrate along the way. Every little win I would celebrate, because who's going to be my cheerleader? Sometimes we have to be our own cheerleader. And we have friends that cheerlead us, and a lot of Showtime kids cheerleaded, and my children cheerleaded. I just want you to know that I had to learn to be my best friend also. So I would celebrate everything along the way. If I lost 20 pounds, well, I'm just going to go try to buy something cuter. Well, I didn't want to. There was a saying one time that said, I think my mama might have said it, but don't be so busy giving your kids what you didn't have that you forget to give them what you did have. So I also started looking back on my life and just going, what has been working? What's working on this spaceship? You know, because I just didn't want to criticize and just go, oh, what's not working? I wanted to go, what is working? And I'll tell you, laughter and laughing at myself has been a loyal friend, a great friend. Humor has been a great friend for me. I can take embarrassing and awkward situations. Now, I'm telling you, when you are a 360-pound dance teacher, I'm telling you, the embarrassing moments and awkward moments are limitless. People, there is judgment, there's all sorts of things. They want to know who the real dance teacher is. They want to know, and people, listen, I would get on a plane. Have you ever been, if you have ever been big, you walk onto a plane. Everyone gets their deer in the headlight look. They all like, oh no, is she going to sit here? Is she going to sit here? Is she going to sit next to me? Oh no, oh no. And I just would try to make it funny. I'd try to look people in the eye. I'm like, this is your lucky day. Nope, it's not you. It's not you. And then I'd get back to one chicken dinner, winner, chicken dinner. And you're the lucky one today. I just had to, address the elephant in the room. That's what I would sometimes do with my Showtime kids, because it just made embarrassing and awkward easier for me. There was one time I had taken some young adult girls, well, actually they were teenage girls, out west. We were going to, it's like Mary Harrington, but she was Povia, Mary Povia, Megan Stevens, Natalie, a whole bunch of us. We went out west and we were there for about 5 days, I think. And when we went to go visit, I think it might have been Boyd. I don't really know if it was DJ or Boyd. It might have been DJ, actually. But we were visiting them during EFY, which is like a church conference. And when we all went to the bathroom, I said, oh, we all got to pee. So we all went to the bathroom and got into stalls. And I said, hey, girls, don't pee yet. On the count of 3, we all start peeing and we'll see who can, beat everyone, win the race. So I'm like, I got this, because I'm going to push it out really fast. So we count down 3, 2, 1, then we start pushing, and during my pushing, I just farted. I'm just telling you right now, I didn't know what else to do but to laugh at myself, and because you can't be 360 pounds and fart. That's against the law. You cannot be fat and fart. That is nothing. I remember used to telling my Showtime kids, if I faint, because sometimes I'd pass out, like on tour, if I had been overwhelmed, or I would just black out, and I remember coming off a tour bus one time, and I just fell over to the ground. I had actually lost my second child falling over the ground. I passed out at church, and my placenta dislodged from my body, and I was almost 8 months pregnant, and Gary killed my little baby. So I remember one time I kept always telling my Showtime kids, if I faint or pass out or black out, don't worry. I'm breathing, but please cover my butt. If it's showing, just make sure my underwear is not out. Or heaven forbid, private parts just munching their way out and trying to see the world. Well, sure enough, it happened. At St. Augustine High, I went there to go see a talent show, and my kids were in it. And I walked down from the side because I was out in the hallway talking to them. And I was coming down the side to sit down in the front to watch. And when I came in down the stairs, blacked out. And my Showtime kids, God bless them, they ran over there and they pulled my skirt down. I had a skirt on, of all things, because of course everybody's laughing. But they knew what to do, and we had practiced this scenario. Okay, so how do I create a life that I love? I was busy, I was married, I have all these things going for me. Well, I love spontaneity, so I wrote that down. Remember that massage girls that we got before the gym's auditions that was with Gracie, Tara, there was a whole bunch of us actually, but we went and got Ann wrote in and we're just like, let's get a massage. We just did it on spontaneous, on a whim. We just called her up and everybody got in there and took their tops off and we got, everybody got massaged and before the gym auditions. And I love spontaneity, so I wrote that down. It's important for me to just feel like I'm alive. And then I also like to get excited about things. Even if it's something stupid, but I like to feel excited about something and ready to roll. Like how I feel when I'm getting on a tour bus. I get excited. I love that feeling of being excited, living in the moment, that moment. Because when you're getting on that tour bus, you're not thinking about your Florida Power and Light bill. You're not thinking about all the things you need to be doing. I'm just trying to survive the day, and I'm just thinking about being with my kids right then. I also enjoyed it when I served people. Now, this is not a Mother Teresa statement. It's a selfish statement, actually. I enjoy the feel-good feelings that you get when you do something for someone else. I used to live off that, actually, a lot. I also really got a kick out of motivating teenagers. I love to win them over, and I also liked bringing the best out in them and showing them what they really could do. And have high expectations of them, but I really loved seeing them transform and become someone better. I also enjoyed my friendships. I enjoyed my friendships with Jacob and Craig. They were students that became very dear friends. I enjoyed banter with my friends. Now, this is my experience of things that have worked. I haven't mastered all of it. And I still work on all of this. This is a daily thing. Like, I don't think I'll ever stop working on my weight or being careful what I eat. Because I've had relapses. I had a nervous breakdown in 2010. I gained weight. I lost my marriage. I had no idea that was going to happen. I to this day, I watch what I eat, and then I have to deliberately also protect, what people would call my peace. But what I like to call it is, I like to protect myself from the negative dialogue that I already give myself. So I have a tendency to live by the philosophy that ignorance is bliss in the category of criticism from the peanut gallery. Like, if someone tells me, oh, that was a great show, or that show really sucked, I kind of, that good show rolled off my back, and so did the bad show. Because only I know if it was a good or a bad show. Or maybe somebody else who does what I do. But a normal person, Kelly Ellen's mom used to tell me all the time, I just can't tell the difference between a good and bad show. Which I relate to her now, because when I watch my grandkids on stage, I accidentally yelled out Ackland's name at the Orange Park Festival. I had to stop myself. But you look at it totally different when you're not the director. But I just, I have to protect myself from my own negative dialogue. So I tend to not read or listen to negativity because of the way I let it absorb into me. I don't do that. So I go to the ignorance is bliss route. Now, I don't think we should have ignorance is bliss like, oh, we don't pay our bills, or oh, we ignore things and hope they go away. No, we can't do that. But in this one area, I have to protect myself against myself and my own negative dialogue. I have to protect my spirit. So I'm glad I didn't listen to all the negative banter, especially when I was doing Showtime, because I would have quit a long time ago. All the statistics told me I shouldn't have been doing it. I was not your average dance teacher. That's somebody who probably shouldn't have been teaching. So, how do we create the life we love? Well, there's different things happening in different parts of your life. And we're going to talk about this on other podcasts, but my heart really goes out to the moms that are still raising kids, because that's your hustle time. But I have to say that even during my hustle time, I niched out my little vanity and my little zen, and I figured out a way to love what I was doing. Now, I had a harder time learning to love myself, and it was, you could see it through my weight and through my actions towards myself. But there was lots of other things that I was doing. I have nothing but fond memories of my life. I feel very, very blessed and lucky. But I started thinking about this. I started 3 habits every day that started my day. I needed to get my day rolling every day, because I would get up early. So it was to make the bed and do the dishes so your house feels clean. Get dressed and do my makeup. Did that. And then I started choosing to do the hard thing first. Now, about 2 years ago, it was the elliptical. I hate getting on the elliptical. So I made sure I did that first thing in the morning every day so that it was over with. Now I do whatever it is in business that I don't want to do. That's usually something for the firm, or planning out my day for working for Ron, or picking out music, things that I want that need to get over with and done so I can let my brain free. Another thing that really helped me have a life that I learned to fall in love with is laughing, especially at myself. I think God gave us humor to survive. And I love finding humor in everything. And again, especially in my own personal self, because I'm an awkward person. As you can see, who is doing a podcast for for fun. Then I talked about serving somebody. You can serve your family right at home. I like to iron Ralph's shirts, just a way to serve him on the side. Sometimes I play little games, but you go to Walmart and smile or compliment somebody sincerely. You don't ever do it fake, because people read through that stuff. But I really enjoy, why not brighten someone else's day? And you would be surprised how many people really appreciate a sincere compliment, or even a smile, or visiting a friend, especially one that's recovering from something or going through something in their life. Sometimes just being a listening ear. And I'm a talker, and I always want to solve the problems, but when I put my listening ears on, if I can just be a friend and shut up, I can leave with those good feelings inside. And then another thing that made me learn to fall in love with my life was keeping perspective. Now, this is I think it's a hard thing to do. But if you watch 600-Pound Life on TLC, I never wanted to watch that show because it actually kind of hit too close to home. It made me scared of myself a little bit. I don't know why. That could have been me. 360 is bad enough, but I wasn't trying to feel better about myself. That looked more dangerous to me. That could have been me. But recently I've watched actually some of the 600-Pound episodes, and because I really feel for these people, and I want to help them for some reason. I just want to go help them. But the perspective is, they're like, oh, I got under 500 pounds. Who celebrates weighing 499 pounds? These people. Because their perspective is they were at 700 pounds or 680 pounds. Same thing with me. I was able to celebrate when I weighed 230 pounds because my perspective was coming from a 360 pounds. So perspective is everything. You're only as old as you feel. Who says you can't be spontaneous? Who says you can't be excited about life? Who says you can't be dating your husband? So I think that keeping perspective helps keep our eye on the ball. Because otherwise, we're just comparing ourselves to who? So we really have to compare ourselves to ourselves. So being at 230 pounds, well, Michelle, well, she's now Michelle Fritz, but Michelle would, she'd kill herself if she ever weighed 230 pounds. You know what I mean? But, and she comes from a little tiny mom. But for me, that was an accomplishment. So just keep remembering perspectives. Now, I have learned to also adopt the OK. I used to call it the O-F situation. I would like just F it. But I'm trying to clean up my sailor mouth. So now I do okay. So, aren't you a little too old to be doing that? Okay. I should be doing these viral dance videos. Okay. You overshare a lot, Miss Pam. I know. It's okay. You cuss like a sailor. Okay. You're chronically immature. I had that said to me once. I'm like, okay. Not sure it's going to change. I like having my immature moments. Who's the teacher of this group? We love watching the show. Well, me. You're welcome. And then sometimes I remember telling one lady at the Jacksonville Landing, she goes, that's hard to believe. And I'm like, well, that just testifies how good these kids really are. Because they've got to learn this dance with me telling them what to do. They're picking it up with just my words. Yes, I would show some motions, but I only dance in front of Showtime kids. I'm not going to dance in front of this lady. But I'm just saying, look how talented my kids are. They're doing this with me as their teacher. I did have regrets when I lost weight and I've had surgeries and I've done all these things. I was trying to save my marriage. That's truly what it was in the beginning. And then now it's just, I want to be my best version of myself. And I sometimes would get that feeling of, why did I waste so much time? Why didn't I do this earlier? But my mom always told me that what's worse is living 30 years and regretting something, or doing it for 30 years and another day. So, yes, I didn't start yet earlier, but I'm doing it now. I'm not wasting another minute, another day, another time. So even if you're in your hustle phase as a mom, don't waste another minute. Don't waste another thought. Create the life you love, even in your hustle phase. It's never too late. And I used to thought that was such a cliche saying, but it's never too late for us. We can we can have our pink life. We can have this attitude of taking ownership and still being women. We can be a boss, but also keep our feminine side. I think we're taught so much in this world to act and dress like a man, to be honest, and that's to keep us strong. But I want to tap into my feminine side more. Feminine side, if I can say it. So I hope that this week that all y'all will find the top 3 to 5 things that make you love your life. And make sure you're tapping into that once a day. It's different for everybody. And that is what the pink life means to me. It means that we're tapping in what makes us love our life. Now, I do want a vodcast. I don't even know how long this was. Maybe it was only 5 minutes. Who knows? I don't know. But I have these lists of topics, and I had some people suggest topics. So I'm just going to be picking up topics. I refused today. I didn't want to practice. All of this is on the fly. I wrote notes, but that's it. I didn't want to practice or time myself or anything because I just wanted to be authentic as best as I could because, well, that can only be authentic because I'm too out there. So I'm going to pick topics and just kind of tell you what's worked in my life. And also I'd like to bring on people that have experiences themselves. So if you have experiences, I would love to hear from you, and we could set up a co-host opportunity. But I wanted to give you all 3 topics that you could vote on this week, and to let me know which one you would like to hear about first. So the first one to choose from is mommy topics and how to get through the hustle phase and the child rearing years. Number 2 is about business, how people start businesses or what they do to stay in business. And then the third one is confidence and how to stretch outside of your comfort zone. So if one of those topics interests you, please message me on Facebook or Instagram and make a vote so I can pick a topic for this week, because I want to do this again. I want to have fun and do this again immediately. Okay, so the last thing is, oh, I have these glasses. I know, I was told not to walk around a lot. I have a pair of free Pink Life glasses for any of you. I only have 20 of these, so the first 20, hopefully there is 20, that if you message me on Facebook or Instagram and give me your full address with the zip code, I will mail you your Pink Life glasses. And then also, the last thing is I'm going to give everyone a pro tip, a Miss Pam pro tip of the day at the end. So here's my pro tip. If you are behind a long line in Walmart and you have a man in front of you, I have never tried this on a woman because I think women would see right through it. Women would see right through it. But I did this when I was 360 pounds too. But it works all the time. If you're in a long line and there's a man in front of you and you're in a hurry and you want to get checked out, here's my tip for the day. Invade his space. Just like if he's standing right here, I'll use the microphone. If he's right here, I'll just start leaning over and looking at what's in his cart, or looking at the magazines real close to him, or maybe brush by his shoulder, and then he'll just be like, hi. Do you want to go ahead of me? And I'm like, that is so sweet. Yes, I do. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. And he's just gonna go home and say, some old lady tried to flirt with me today. But me, I got checked down. I'm out of there. So thanks for listening. That's my tip for the day. And hopefully I'll see you on my next podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.